What's good? It's Live 360, and today we're finna be talking about how the shadow government utilize astrology to create crisis. So, and we're also gonna be talking about a few alignments and a few astrological events that's taking place in the sky that's gonna be influencing all of us as below. So, when it comes to what's going on and how we can kind of pinpoint what's actually going on in the world and all the current events that's going on in the world that's taking place. They got people in an uproar and they're trying to push out this fear mongering when it comes to their global magic wand, the news, television, social medias, to get everybody attention to go down one stream of consciousness so they can see those current events start to play out and manifest, understanding how the mind works and how the mind moves and how the mind is the spaceship and vehicle that we hop into and give life to, give post to when we are in those spaces of emanating thoughts and feelings, being a spirit, observing that was corporeal, being the non-corporeal observer, and however we're creating the mind, that awareness that bends in, it becomes our actual actions. So that Lucifer, that light, that lie, they're trying to carve out and steer society in a certain direction. When it comes to how they're trying to govern the world so they can have some form of power and control by utilizing their puppets and the things that they made us build, put blood, sweat, and tears in, from the condensing of that mind to become an organ. So this is how we got the physical, and this is how we got everything surrounding us in the environment in the 1, 2, and third dimension. So when it comes to them understanding this knowledge and them being able to kind of carve out circumstances and situations by practicing witchcraft, what's on your mind behind closed doors, and putting it in our face, putting us in a specific space in an esoteric realm in Babylon, where we have to kind of go about those terms and agreements. It's like we're forced to go about those terms and agreements because they dangle something in front of our face, and if we don't, they'll take it away from us. And those same things may be the same things that we need in the 1, 2, and third dimension in order to be able to survive. When it comes to how we go about our ability of eating, sleeping, and fucking. So they'll utilize one of these things and dangle it in front of our face and create a problem and solution witchcraft around it to make it look like something is happening, but behind closed doors, it's two things that's going on. It's two conversations that's being had. So we think that it's been a recession and things is just shutting down and things is just happening mysteriously, miraculously, and we don't have no control over it. You got to keep in mind that everything is controlled. Everything is controlled. So the agenda is to get us emotionally, put us in a space so we emotionally react and respond to these things so they can kind of sit back and collect data and information from us and what we're giving our esoteric currency to, our attention, where energy goes, where our attention goes, energy flows, so they can sit back and collect data to see how many people they can be able to put inside a box and how many people are trying to step out of that box because they're waking up. So when it comes to individuals waking up, they're trying to single those individuals out and block them and prevent them from being able to flourish so they can be able to wake up behind closed doors so they can stay in positions of rulership and power. So when it comes to individuals like me and other individuals, other content creators, shout out to everybody in the subconscious community, small community groups of God's children, being a vessel and carrying out God's duties and responsibility so we can rise the vibration and rise our frequency in this atmosphere and create a whole new atmosphere that is out lighter in weight and not lighter and free and something new. So we may not need these bodies and these 2 feet and these eyes and these organs and these It may just be the way the way the wind is blowing. That may be the type of bodies that we have in that atmosphere, like how we had when we was first creating these bodies to condense and become the physical death, 1, 2, and third dimension. That would be more like the physical death, 1, 2, and third dimension. Expanding out of 1, 2, and third dimension and making it look like the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. So, understanding that, they're blocking individuals like me and other individuals online for being able to get the message across by shadow banning us and making it hard for us to pop up on y'all algorithm. And then they'll put a puppet out there to kind of push the agenda even further by promoting fear. So they can get y'all emotionally aroused and get y'all, but have idle minds and fight amongst each other and compete and argue and get into race debates and things of those natures. When it comes to, they already got your mind built in this type of way. When it comes to competitive, competing energies, they already got y'all low-key racist, low-key lost into colorism, lost into all these signs and symbols and these things what they are, and understand how to get to that starting point so you can be able to see the meaning, put your own meanings and reasons behind these things, instead of you getting lost into these things, getting lost into this light, getting lost into the illusions that they create to keep you in a position, not knowing that these are the same things that experience what God needs you to experience in the world, like into this demonic cycle and continuously being a battery for their generator. And they only generating bullshit. At the end of the day, you getting the short end of the stick, being a low hanging fruit, not knowing that there's a whole universe out there, but you stuck into this one third dimensional universe, being in their coiling system. So they can kind of drain your power, drain your energy, drain your soul, keep you limited in the way that you think and feel, not being able to expand, not being able to open your eyes up there. So you sleep up there, but you woke down here, not knowing that this is the reality of death. This is the reality of, you know, this is like an illusion. Keep you sleep up there, program. So that's paying attention to every, different phenotypes coming to the Western Hemisphere, bringing all day bullshit over here on the Western Hemisphere soul, where the atmosphere interacts differently. Washihu, killing individuals, doing the same thing that they're trying to do now, depopulation control, so they can create more individuals that looks more like a diversity instead of it being an ethnicity. The original spirits that came out of those waters and created the atmosphere and evolved with the atmosphere with their own original starting and making mama sick. I think of those natures. So this is how they kind of utilize y'all, and this is how they got all mixed up and not knowing y'all actual soul tribe, not knowing y'all actual spiritual predecessors. So y'all lost into the 1, 2, and 3 dimension. The old man, male and female, that may look presentable, not knowing spiritually that may be a person that destroyed you, that destroyed your whole soul tribe when they came over here and started killing Indians and things of those natures, following the sun. So this is how they kind of utilize their mathematics, and this is how they utilize astrology to create crisis. So when it comes to them becoming aware for the first time, so you know, we all got our own way of becoming aware. We all got our own way of seeing. So when it comes to the way that they see, they look at it like this: where the sun goes, we're gonna follow the sun. Whatever geographical location we end up on, if we come across some indigenous people, this is how they mind think. We're gonna either try to take control over them mentally, reasoning that we put behind what's going on, astronomy, the father, following that fusion, friction, and pressure to the west, making the earth flat with their logic, making things harder to actually be able to comprehend or be well rounded with these man-made devices and technologies and things of those natures. So, coming from the Eastern Hemisphere, taking over that geographical location first, taking over the tribes and everybody in that geographical location first, making mutts, making people different skin colors, making people different blood deficiencies. Because once we start fucking, once a whole group of people start fucking, you start to mutate and you get a blood deficiency. So your pigment starts. So we all go coming out of those waters, being an emanation of the sun. So we don't get color and melon and white and black and different shades of the sun until we start fucking and mixing. When it comes from them fucking Arabs, because we was practicing at first, it's like a practice of incest. So that's where it kind of got demonic, because we started practicing more incest, and then our children started to become retarded and deformed. So that's when we knew we had to go travel and start to fuck on other phenotypes that came out of different waters. So it's a gift and a curse that came out of that. But the curse is they went too far with it. They over exaggerated about it. So when it comes to them doing that over in the eastern continents first, fucking on, different, people, fucking on different phenotypes, women, and their image, and being able to come up with a practice about what they're doing, the spaces that they be going through, and tracking the sun, creating astronomy, mathematics about what they're doing, and then the spiritual practice, astrology, left brain, astrology, right brain, the spiritual practices, to put in the religion, the science, the Lucifer to it, what's actually going on, astronomy, left brain, the logic, the linguistics, the latitude and longitude, the time and the place and the location, from observing, the seasonal transition, or where actor and bubbles, to kind of set some form of discipline. So this is where, depopulation, how too many babies too lost into their beastly natures, and not actually, being a part of things that they have to see at the end of the day, too lost into their beastly animalistic natures and fucking out of wedlock, and not, participating with their actual program that they have set up and made us build mentally, operative masonry and things of those natures. That's when things starts to get, a little bit shaky. So this is where they start to push out these new drugs, start to push out these new pills, start to push out these new, create these circumstances, create a problem, and then create a problem, then give us the solution. And the solution may not even be a solution that we need to, feed into, because that solution may be the same thing that keep us in a position of being low-hanging fruit and low comprehended, and not being able to think for ourselves, or expand and contract the universe. So when it comes to the problem that they create, they utilize these things that they dangle in front of our face, like money, security, stability, shelter, things that they know that we need to survive, because we're in a world where we have to survive off these things, because this existence is still in a primitive state when it comes to our spiritual root race. So people feel like they kind of utilize these things on technology to motivate people to go do these in a certain space when it comes to their business, entertainment, religion, education, and politics, to utilize these puppets to motivate sleep so they can operate in these mental frameworks when it comes to the way that they're participating in reality and a one to one third dimension, not know that their mind is being trained to think and feel that to think and feel the way that they think and feel. So it's all a learned behavior at the end of the day. So you may think that you're doing something new. You may think that you're doing something that you're supposed to be doing, that you think that nobody else is doing, but it's all just a learned behavior that these individuals came up with the type of technology to persuade you to think that you're doing something new. But it's all a learned behavior at the end of the day. So you got to keep that in mind as well when it comes to things that's actually going on in the world. When it comes to you getting these corporate jobs, you trying to be like the next Tyra Banks, you've been indoctrinated out of the mind that you're in, being aware of the spaceship that you're driving. So they're creating your vehicles for you. So you're synthetic, you're GMO, and you probably a red pill, or you know what I'm saying. But mainly synthetic and GMO, male and female. Think that you have your own idea, but you don't have the right starting point. So you don't have the right starting point. So you're put in a space where you need sources. You put in a space where you have to Google train you because you lack the ability to be able to go outside and understand these things for yourself. So you can go to those same spaces that these individuals was in when they created all of the things that's around. Like these are so when it comes to you lacking knowledge and your men and women perishing battlefield being defeated mentally because y'all are unable to produce y'all own ideas about your own reality, and you kind of fall victim and you start to play out energies, killing your ancestors, killing your lineage, so they can be in a so they can feel like they're in a space and position of having some form of authority when it comes to their spiritual lineages and predecessors, so they can start fucking and bringing keep their process going for ages and ages and ages, while at the end of the day you lost spiritually, so you're going to be lost physically when it comes down to you hopping back into this portal system that we are, who's playing out energies agents in our life. So we may get blocked if we listen to too many of those people's opinions and ideas about what's going on in the world around us. So we will get blocked in that way because we're listening to agents and we're not going within, listen to ourselves, because we're the creator, not the creation. Behind closed doors, because we're the creator, not the creation. Behind closed doors, they're being the creator, things that they're causing. So that's how they're able to stay in positions of rulership and power, by understanding that and practicing that behind closed doors, and giving you the watered down, able to stay in positions of rulership and power by understanding that and practicing that behind closed doors, and giving you the watered down, hand me down knowledge of what's actually going on, being lost into the sauce, being distracted, being left to y'all devices, and making deals with the devil. The same things that they created when it comes to business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, to make you feel like you're doing something that's going to be successful. So once you reach these positions, you get those things that comes with it: money, security, and God we trust. But the same God that you entrust in is the same God that they created, the same God that they're utilizing to destroy y'all, a devil. So demons know to be called God. So you always gotta keep that in mind. So this is the witchcraft, and these things stem from the Bibles that they created. And you think that it's going back to thousands of years, when we're actually living out these things now. We're actually living out these things in today's time when it comes to us fulfilling that self-fulfilled prophecy. speaking it, being able to speak it, being able to walk it, being able to see it. You know what I'm saying? So we're actually fulfilling that prophecy starting point, and they understand how to get to the water. So they're not giving you the ability to be able to get to the water and you make your own cup. They're limiting you, keeping you in one small position, keeping you in one small space, so that you don't even know that there's a water or there's a cup. So you just lost into the sauce, going with synthetic. You know what I'm saying? So it gets real tricky. It gets real tricky. But when it comes to this quote unquote recession that's going on, all this is controlled. This is man-made control things that they're practicing behind closed doors. Because what's really going on is it's too many individuals fucking out of wedlock. Entertainment, religion, education, and politics. Too many of them. There's no recession. And where it is a recession, we're gonna be seeing them utilize these things to raise the prices of everything, to make us feel like we ain't got these resources, because they're utilizing some Uranus and Taurus energy right now. If you enter astrology, you can see it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Pluto went back to Capricorn. Taking power control over business, entertainment, education, religion and politics. Taking power control over that Capricorn energy, trying to establish a new way how to go about these energies. Pluto and Capricorn, Uranus and Taurus, and what else? Neptune is in Pisces, going into Aries. You know what I'm saying? Making everybody lost, getting everybody lost into La La Land right now, but it's still been in retrograde, utilizing these puppets and social media and these distractions to get everybody lost into La La Land. And then with us being in the age of Aries, they're gonna be, you got to be a little bit more independent right now. You got to know what's, because you end up following and creating soul ties and self-sufficient, so that the mind that you lost in isn't gonna be able to sustain. It's gonna deteriorate in that new shift. So if you're not thinking fourth dimension, you're gonna get washed away, literally. So when it comes to individuals that have this gift to be able to bring individuals to the water, so they can be able to develop those fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional, third dimension, so they can be able to be aware and create bodies up there that's lighter in density, so they can kind of see how the world is being. Individuals may just be lost into the world down here and getting possessed by beings that's kind of like scavengers up there, and being utilized in the 1, 2, and third dimension when it comes to, them being possessed by those creatures and those golems that's created mentally first, because it all starts with the mental, then bends in and going on. Everything that's been presented on, and get no food or nothing like that. That what's the actual conversation that they're having? Too many people fucking out of world to the things that y'all eat, and going to these fast food places, and just consuming things from these grocery stores, because now they're going to be utilizing some form of very bad connection. Because now they're going to be utilizing some form of goddamn, when that shit started doing that, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be utilizing some form of goddamn, how they was doing it when COVID Supposedly COVID was in the air. Took over y'all mentalities, made y'all shoot some goddamn slow death in y'all body. Now y'all gonna die mysteriously. Now individuals have been dying mysteriously. You know what I'm saying? So it's all control and it's all an agenda. So all of this what's going on, it's a crafted agenda that they're trying to push. So they can stay in positions of rulership and power because too many people are fucking out of wedlock. And they don't need family reality to point out their bullshit because they getting blood on their hands at the end of the day. When utilizing humans and putting humans through all of this, putting this prevented at the end of the day. So you gotta kind of understand what's going on, and you can't listen to Google and things of those natures. And next thing you know, you went down one of those rabbit holes and loop systems. So you gotta keep in mind what's going on when it comes to being aware of yourself, discovering and finding yourself at the end of the day. Because you may think that you're somebody, but you may just be what a learned behavior or a statistic that they created behind closed doors so y'all can continuously build a world. But yeah, like I be careful going to these stores, be careful with who y'all interacting with in general. You gotta trust yourself. You gotta fend for yourself nowadays. So, because there's gonna be a lot of things that's gonna be going on. It's gonna be a lot of tactics that's gonna be going on, manipulation tactics. So right now, they're throwing this against the wall, like how they was trying to do COVID. They're throwing this against the wall because they're trying to depopulate. They're trying to eradicate y'all. So it's still a form of genocide that's going on. Genocide hasn't stopped. This is genocide that's going on. You're witnessing, and you may just make sure that you don't become a victim to genocide. So you got to make sure that the things that you intake and you taking care of your mind, your body, and your spirit. All three of those things: your astrology, your astronomy, your astrology, and your anatomy. Because right now they're trying to control the astronomy, the astrology, and the anatomy to make it look like what they want it to look like in their image. They're Lucifer, they're demon. So they want y'all to look like them. So it's all just mental manipulation. There's no real magic. When understand that you get into things like astronomy, make sure that you get into things like astrology, synchronicities, so it can start becoming a victim and in defeated spirits. Because at the end of the day, they have all y'all in defeated spirits, defeated spiritual race. So you got to keep that in mind when it comes to understanding and just being aware and being a walking dead. So everybody is the walking dead, and they got y'all dead mentally, and they actually got y'all dead physically too. So you gotta kind of understand. It's like we in a dead body, we in a dead creature, we in a dead piece of. It's like we're in a coffin. We're in a dead piece of reality right now. It's like we all in a coffin right now, and the spirit. I think the spirit likes that energy. The spirit likes being in the coffin. So you got to keep that in mind as well when understanding what's going on and not getting lost into the sauce, not getting lost into any indoctrinations, not getting lost into any religious debates, not getting lost into any Google Scholar, not getting lost into any masonry, not getting lost into nothing. Literally, no thing, so that you can be this something at the end of being aware of what's going on in the world, so you don't end up getting taken advantage over or manipulated, because your mind is precious at the end of the day. So you gotta keep that in mind. So they got all y'all being manipulated and they're taking advantage over all y'all mentally. So y'all don't know how to think for yourself. Y'all don't know how to fend for yourself, and y'all just lost. Y'all just robots, not knowing if y'all coming and going, just lost humans, just creating more problems for yourself at the end of the day. So you got to kind of understand what's going on, so you can get out of these indoctrinations and start to create things that's more healthier when it comes to your spirit and stop creating things that's low vibrational and demonic, and being crabs in the buckets, and being demons, and fucking out of wedlock. Because if y'all keep fucking out of wedlock, y'all gonna end up creating more mutts, and y'all gonna become deformed creatures and deformed species. So you gotta keep in mind and know what's going on. So when it comes to, understanding what's going on, they're gonna be they utilize things like their puppets, business, entertainment, religion, education, and politics to train y'all mind, to motivate y'all, to put y'all in these spaces, to think that this is what y'all need in order to survive, to put y'all in y'all animalistic natures, because they're controlling these things. They're controlling your spaceship. They're controlling your body. You know what I'm saying? So Walt Disney to control everything. So you opening your Stargate to play out one of the other halves. Those Masons and their other half energy, and not know that. So you think that you're being free? You think that you're doing something good, but you're walking in reverse. You're being a demon. You're walking in reverse at the end of the day. You're walking on your back, being a slithering lizard, snake, walking on your back. So you gotta keep in mind and know what's going on, because you're only gonna be you're only putting this on yourself. You're only doing it to yourself at the end of the day. So you can't be victimizing if God keep you in that space, so that you have to self-reflect. So y'all gotta get out. Y'all gotta get out of that, because all y'all just self-reflecting at the end of the day. You can't be victimizing if God put you in that space. You can't be victimizing if God closed that window gate for you, because you wasn't learning, you wasn't paying attention, you wasn't listening to the signs, you wasn't listening to the message. You tried to shoot the messenger and didn't know that you were just shooting yourself. You were just killing yourself. You was destroying yourself. So these are the types of circumstances and situations that they got y'all in, and these are the types of things that they're trying to get y'all lost into, making y'all think y'all doing the right thing, being free, but really spiritually y'all in bondage. And now y'all can't cry about any form of liberation or respiration, because you don't even have the right starting point to find yourself. You don't know yourself. You don't have no purpose. You're purposeless. You're soul. And they're using it and abusing it and bruising it. So you got to keep that in mind as well. But when it comes to all the spiritual practitioners out there, y'all don't have to kind of worry. But if you're not listening, if you're not taking the message, if you're not keeping game, then you might just have to go flock with the same birds and see that what's going on with the real eye. Get lost into that. Get lost into that dream. Get lost into that imagination. Get lost into that demon. Get lost into that desire. Get lost into all that. Get lost into it. You know what I'm saying? So this all they doing. They're making y'all get lost into everything that's in front of you. Getting lost into everything that's in front of you. You're getting lost into it. Y'all just getting lost to everything that's in front of you. You're not knowing how to comprehend. You don't know how to go inside of you and actually see. So you can start seeing the real shit that's going on. So you start to actually see shit that God wants you to see. And stop seeing the bullshit. But yeah, it's been Who Life 360. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Peace.